Combustion.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Been running the game with my team making plays. Talking 80, my G, Swan and Jules in this place. Surrounded by dogs, keep the quarterback safe. I'm the one with the plans, they gon' do what I say. The game is not over, we don't celebrate in the end zone. We don't got no time in the wait. H-Town run down, we don't premeditate. We just go and get to it, we got them on skates. If the game go into overtime, kicking the overdrive, we gon' be first at the finish line. Play looking full, but I finish mine. Can I get second? We gon' line up like it's dinner time. We put in work till we get us a ring. Super Bowl season, we running the scene. H-Town the home of the realest that breathe. Keep your face down when you talk to the king.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the H-Town Rundown. This is your boy AD, and I got my co-host in the building, Jules. How are you doing on this wonderful Friday evening?
Doing wonderful. There's a lot of news, a lot of things going on. The Super Bowl's coming up pretty soon. NFL got some senior bowls going on situation, so we good. Football still relevant in Houston. It's still relevant.
Oh yeah, look, it's always something going on. It's always something to talk about. But you know, we talked about it last week, man. The Houston Texans let us down. They killed our Super Bowl aspirations as fan base. Poor play and everything. So now we here to talk about the offseason and what is in store going forward. But there has been quite a bit of news going on. Alfredo, shout out Alfredo. He said, "I'm the only one still feels that we should have been in Super Bowl right now." Hell yeah.
Yeah, we all feel that way.
You and everybody else, we all feel like we should be in the Super Bowl right now. No doubt about it.
Half the teams in the AFC thought we should be in the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I feel like this is gonna be one of the nastiest Super Bowls in history. What up, Daniel Berry Sports, man? I feel like this may be a blowout.
It could be. It could be.
And this, that's a nasty situation. But there's been a lot of news because a lot of fans have been trying to figure out what is next. Do the Texans keep CJ Stroud? Do the Texans move on with CJ Stroud because he had a horrific playoff performance against the Steelers and the New England Patriots? I would say now, where do we go moving on? But there's been a lot of questions as far as coaching staff, as far as, prospects, all these different things, off-season moves, should I say. Around the NFL, there's been a lot of coaching movement.
10 head coaches.
There were 10 candidates, 10 head coaching job openings. And I think as of this moment, 9 of them or 8 of them are officially filled.
Correct.
With the last being the Raiders and the Cardinals. But there are reports, quote unquote reports, that it's Clint Kubiak's job to lose, who is the offensive coordinator of Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
I don't know what Arizona Cardinals are gonna do. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I don't see them going to Arizona.
Yeah,
I see them go number one pick. I mean, you got the quarterback of the future. You have Bowers. People still believe in Genty. So clearly, the Raiders' job is more seen as a more glamorous job because it's one of their original all-time great franchises, and you have Tom Brady pulling all the strings, according to what everybody's saying going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And also you got 19 OCs changing places so far this season.
Yeah, I mean you had a multitude. Go ahead, my bad.
But guess who's not chasing OCs? The Texans.
The Houston Texans, man. Shout out to Aaron Wilson. The Houston Texans right now are reportedly running the band back. They made a few firings. They fired the assistant offensive line coach, the assistant defensive line coach, I think, or not offensive line coach, assistant analyst or something on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah.
They fired the
tight end
coach, and then the assistant defensive line coach or something like that. They fired. Kind of insignificant moves. But they did make a hire today.
All
The
right.
Texans, the Houston Texans did hire James Ferentz, who is the son of what's his dad's name?
Not James, huh?
His dad name is it Jim Ferentz or
I think so. Well,
James
well, you
Ferentz?
should figure it out. Guess what we playing with the Nick Casario offensive side of the ball. Let's connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think this man got the job as a Texas fan, as a Texas coach? Credentials, great candidates, or is it because he coached at Troy?
Who? James Ferentz? James Ferentz didn't coach at Troy.
You sure? I guess one he coached at Troy.
No, James Ferentz is a former player. Um,
Oh,
he played for the Houston Texans.
oh, okay. So
James,
it's a son.
yeah, that's the son of the Iowa Hawkeyes head coach. Um,
Okay, so James is the one who coached at Troy, right? The one we hired, right?
no, 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 no. Slow it down, Juice. Slow it down. James Ferentz is a former player that went to Iowa. He played for the Houston Texans, the Denver Broncos, and the New England Patriots. He played for three teams, and he played from 2014 to 2023. As
Okay.
soon as he retired from playing, he went as an assistant offensive line coach for the New York Giants, and he's been assistant offensive line coach the last 2 years for the New York Giants. He has no affiliation with Troy.
Oh, is that Alex Ward then?
Huh?
Alex Ward?
I think that is the other guy that was
Okay, that's what
hired.
I'm talking about. My fault. I just saw connecting dots of the New England Patriots situation where we still connecting dots and connections and
Yeah, I mean,
hiring assistants.
James Ferentz does have a New England Patriots connection because he played for New England for 6 years. Um, he was on their roster for 6 years, but from what I've been reading about James Ferentz, is that he is very, very highly respected. Um, um, but he's very, very highly respected, and he is um viewed as a good to great hire by the Houston Texans.
Man, that
Um,
sounds just like Nick Kelly last year.
um, what I will say is that it has been identified by Aaron Wilson that he will be coaching the tight ends.
Mm.
What I do like about it is that him being an assistant offensive line coach, we should see more or better blocking from the tight end room. Um, One said I just enrolled in JCU. I'll be a coach soon. Definitely,
Yes.
definitely. The
Make
guy,
sure
huh?
make sure you find a Nick Casario apprentice so you can get a job in Texas within 2 years.
Look, it's about to be wild and crazy. I think that people thought that Gerard Johnson was going to be gone.
Right.
There was a conspiracy, not a conspiracy, but there was a lot of conversation about him. But again, the guy you're talking about, Alex Ward, they hired him. Um, he's probably going to be working with Cole Popovich as well. He coached with Cole Popovich, but he's going to be an offensive assistant,
There
um,
we go.
kind of an analyst or something like that. Um, but yeah, Gerard Johnson was a hot topic this week
He
because
was.
people wanted him gone. I will say this: Gerard Johnson is probably, and you said it offline when we talked offline. He's probably insignificant in the whole grand scheme of all of what's right or wrong with the Houston Texans.
Correct.
Um, and the fact that it was when he said once I become VIP, the group chat suite and rundown podcast.
We appreciate it, sir.
So it's just the point of, again, I want to emphasize that point of Gerard Johnson being insignificant in the grand scheme of what's wrong with the Houston Texans.
Right.
The Houston Texans have a myriad of issues on the offensive side of football, whether it be with offensive line play, whether it be with the running back room, tight end room, um, secondary wide receivers stepping up outside of Nico Collins. And of course quarterback play. So those all that's that well that is the whole offense, right?
Hmm.
It's being a problem. So you look at it now and you go to the point of what do we do? What are the next steps? And a lot of fans have kind of I feel like is laziness and oh we got to get rid of the coaches. Let's just fire all the coaches. Mind you, we just brought in a new OC this year. And people
Hmm.
wanted this OC gone.
Oh yeah, they want to have halfway through the season.
And I will say this to Nick Caley's credit, he did greatly improve throughout the year. He was kind of horrible at the very beginning, and that was probably a testament to him not knowing what the hell he was doing.
Correct.
But as the year went on, he did improve as far as how to scheme and manage a game. So Nick Caley didn't deserve any kind of heat as far as like getting fired because at the end of the day, I don't think Nick Caley threw those 4 interceptions. I don't think Nick Caley fumbled the ball 5 times against the Steelers. Um, to me, I think it was just one constant, and that was number 7. Um, so a lot of times, I think people are really trying to take the blame away from who cost us the game. And I know people saying, "Well, you can't put the whole game on one player."
Yeah, in the
You
whole
can,
season. In the whole
you
season.
can, but you can,
Yeah,
you
but
can.
now there's gonna be fanatics who just see one way. But if you were campaigning against him being gone, it's not just because of the playoff run. It's because of the situation throughout the whole season. And to defend him is once again you hire a guy who's never done a job before, and you have great expectations on him, and he has to learn the job. He has to go through the growing pains,
Hmm.
and that's exactly what he did. So no one's gonna fire him because he don't know, because they hired him knowing he don't know, and plus they boys, so that's not happening either.
Yeah, look, it's just the point of now. We're at a point of where do we move? How do we move?
Right.
You know, and I think offensively, you have to kind of key in on what you can realistically do offensively to upgrade. And we can go by that, but I want to get your thoughts on what do you think as far as like offensively. You can even go with coaching what the Texans need to do or should do.
Well, after all the reports of like Aaron Wilson saying and what Nick Casario said about the offense, that they don't see much changing, or it's one guy not executing. I don't see much changing in the coaching situation. I was one of the few guys, or one of the guys that say Gerard Johnson needs to go, and it's not mainly because he's coaching bad. It's just you don't see the 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 progression of CJ, and if he's not progressing, they might as well go find somebody else who maybe get into his ear. And it's one of those things like, hey, you want to figure out what you want in CJ, who CJ is, give him a different coach, and if he fights it, then you know he's not coachable. And before you make a decision, so I understand the idea of firing Gerard Johnson, but the conversation is CJ got to do better on his turnovers and progress the season, but and progress the offense and figure out what he needs to do for this offense to be good and not be a liability for the offense. Now, as far as the team itself, um, O line play. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the passing situation we were run by run blocking, and we had the conversation before. You can't be a run team if you can't run the ball behind your big fellas. If you can't move earth when you need 1 yard, if you can't get rushing touchdowns in the red zones, you need to have guys who are nasty, strong,
Hmm.
upper body, big body, and who can move people out the way to open gates. And that's that kind of thing. That's it's You need a rush time. I believe that we forgot how one dimensional this offense was throughout the year, throughout the whole year. I mean, CJ and even Davis Mills, they basically had to throw the ball majority of the time because the running game wasn't wasn't enough to be a balanced team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just better online play, and CJ can get better. The receivers have to get better of understanding the routes, and Nick Caley has to understand where he needs to improve, what didn't work, what going to work, and him and CJ needs to be married all off season to improve the system because neither one of the players or the coach is going anywhere next year.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, you have to evaluate where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you said, offensive line is something I think that's going to be a main focus,
Yeah,
and I've spoken about it all week. Is that the Texans at this point are forced to make changes on offensive line. You have at the very least two gaping holes on the right side of the football, where that whole side is free agents.
correct.
Between your starters with Ed Ingram and Trent Brown, both of those guys are free agents. So at the very least, you have to either bring those guys back or replace those two positions, either in free agency or the draft. So you're forced to make moves to improve the offensive line. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say this though, because there's been talk about well, Titus should play right tackle. Well, if that's the case, now you have a even bigger issue where you have to fill two interior positions at right guard and left guard. Um, but I will say this: I posed a question earlier this week, and where would you rank? And I listed all the positions. I listed interior offensive line, offensive tackle, defensive line, edge rushers, cornerbacks, linebackers, safety, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers. And I listed all the positions and I asked the question in priority, where would you rank? As far as priority, where would you rank the Houston Texans from top to bottom? What is the priority?
Interior offensive line.
Well, just give me your top five. Your top five of priority from 1 to 5 position group. Top five.
Um, Based on what I see and what they're moving, I would have to say interior offensive line. Um, Running back is number two. Defensive tackles because you have a lot of guys not under contract, kind of injured,
Hmm.
not really not can't survive the season. So how do you mix going forward to keep your D tackles and how you go forward? Because you can tell when the defense was not as great as it was, the D tackles weren't the problem. They're the problem. The defense because that's the only injuries that you had permanently on that side of the ball was your D tackles. So going forward, you want to make sure that your D tackles can stay healthy, and if that means going younger or letting some older veterans go, you got to figure it out. And number three, I still think it's a tight end situation because you still don't have a tight end that can block
Hmm.
and catch the ball and be a dual threat. And secondly, it was secondary with the safety, but I think Reed proved that when he was healthy, regardless of situation, he was a starter. So I think your secondary is pretty much locked with the 4 or 5 people they got, and I think the other Jalen's come back, so that's your nickel back. So I really think the three prim needs for me is going to be interior line, D tackle, and running back, pretty much, and tight end too. So yeah, those four spots.
Okay. I would say interior offensive line, period, but interior offensive line, tackle as well. And then I would say you running back, as well, and then tight end, and then I would go defensive tackle. Well, no, I would say edge rusher is more important than defensive tackle. Um, and
But
I'll
why?
give my thoughts on edge rusher because yes, you have Will Anderson, you have Daniil Hunter this year. Daniil Hunter contract is up after this year. That's the
Hmm.
first thing. Second thing is Barnett is a free agent.
Correct.
Um, you bring him back, that's cool, but you really don't have a depth of guys that can really be effective rushing the passer. There's a significant drop off after Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter.
Correct.
Um,
I agree with that.
whether you get somebody in the draft or you get somebody in free agency who can come in and be solid enough to rush the passer and be, solid against the run, as a secondary pass rusher. That's something that I feel is important because God forbid one of those two guys get hurt. And we were blessed this year that they were healthy
Hmm.
the whole year. I think they sat out the last game of the season and or they played a little bit and sat out, whatever it was with those two. But we were blessed enough to not have any major injuries with them
Oh, a
this year.
linebacker too. I'm going linebacker too. Linebacker in my fifth one.
Again, everybody want to say linebacker, but D'Amico is not gonna not play Henry Tortor.
Well, we
And
get that,
Aziz
but we
Aziz
it's
is here.
well, we have our opinion. We know we can say we want to say about what we think is more important. The Texans gonna do what they're doing, but opinion wise, that we a lot of people still see that linebacker is a weakness.
So why do the people say linebacker is a weakness? When we had first of all, we had the number one defense in the NFL.
Don't mean you can't get
And
it better.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm
That's
just
what that's
saying,
what that's what you see. That's how you asking is why you feel it because you feel like it's a non-starter because D'Amico like his two guys, but you still EJ Speed is not coming back. May not come back. He may come back on the contract. He's free agent.
yeah,
Carrington Harrison come back because
yeah.
he's the free agent. So you mean you only have two linebackers, and the other linebackers you have that you drafted ain't really shown that they can step up. So
You
you
got a
still
linebacker. You got a linebacker that should have made the All Pro.
who
He wore a pamper every game
okay
on
we
on
don't.
his head.
No, but he's still considered nickelback safety. He's not a linebacker. So you still need depth too. So just like you saying that
You need depth. Of
you
course
need
you
depth
need
at both
depth.
places. You need
But
depth
I'm
because
saying, but I'm saying when you say signing like as a level of importance, you saying linebacker depth as a level of importance.
bro, you just said D tackle was defense is need depth, and they both situated the same thing.
Yeah,
So how can you say mine is less than yours when you at defensive end and when you have two all pros there,
I didn't say yours was less.
bro? How you put it? You know how you did like everybody say linebacker because we
Well,
know
everybody
D'Amico
know the
gonna do this.
reason why I say everybody say linebacker because when they say linebacker, they want they a lot of people want Texans to take linebacker with the first pick in the draft in the first round. A
No,
lot of people want the
there's not
Texans.
there's
Huh.
not a linebacker worth the number one pick at 28
Some
unless
people,
CJ Allen's good. The boy from
he's not a line. You talking about? Hold on, C.J. Allen?
Georgia. I mean from Georgia. The
Oh
boy
no,
from Georgia.
he ain't no first round pick though.
I mean that's other than the boy from Ohio State, that linebacker he's pretty much an edge. So there's not a linebacker that you're. So here's the thing: there's linebackers and there's rushing linebackers that you take early because they're defensive gems and they add pass rushing techniques. You're asking the linebackers in this team just to play coverage and run the ball and maybe blitz every now and then. You don't need to spend a number one pick on a rushing edge from a linebacker spot because that's not what D'Amico does.
Mm.
So if you, I understand the situation. Oh, first round pick for linebacker. Yeah, first round pick for linebacker. That means he has to be Terrell Suggs.
Look,
That's what you're looking for. Demarcus Ware types.
oh yeah, look, I agree, and that's what people want. Um, and I hate that I started this narrative, and it's really because people have zero faith in Henry Toa. Um, even though he probably was one of your best defensive players against the Patriots. I do have some news in a second I'm gonna read, but I'm gonna read Brandon's comment. He said Aziz is here, but last year we saw games when he was out. Same with this year. Grab someone, let them learn behind them, and hopefully they don't have to come in. And then he said need to get Petrie that Mario mushroom. Um, you know,
Give Nico
so
Collins that helmet head because he the one have concussion issues.
if he don't start playing with him and CJ, if they don't start playing with the Guardian cap, then something's wrong. Um, and I just feel like you just want to look pretty at this point instead of doing something to protect your health and for your well being.
Right.
But Aaron Wilson just tweeted out just a few minutes ago. Texans offensive assistant Pat Riley is out. They fired him. He joins the list of Jake Moreland, and it was assistant linebackers coach.
Okay.
not the assistant defensive line coach, but assistant linebackers coach Ben Boyling, and then offensive assistant Mike Snyder, and then they did fire the assistant offensive line coach Zach Yenser.
Hmm.
All of those guys were fired. Well, I'm sorry, Zach Yenser didn't get fired. He went and took a promotion to be the Dolphins offensive line coach.
Okay.
But all the other guys got fired, and the Texans brought in they brought in damn James Ferentz.
Yeah.
Um,
These
so
these 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 moves don't these coaching moves don't really push the needle as
mhm,
far as oh you want to see great changes. You might see some other changes from your lower guys, your rookies. It took your second year players, but your main starters, they know what they're gonna do. They're gonna perform the way they're gonna perform. They're gonna play the way they're gonna play. So you're looking just to make sure that if anybody else get promoted next year, you have some guys that can fill in the spots and understand the system of what they want to run, and that's what you're looking for with these lower assistant coaches.
yeah, I agree, and I'm gonna just get it. Again, I said it earlier. I need to reiterate it again because I'm seeing a little comments behind it. James Ferentz is not Patriots South. James Ferentz has first of all, James Ferentz was a Texan for 2 years first. Let's get that understood. He actually played for the Texans. So if anything, he coming home. Let's get that understood. Okay. Um, and then
I like
he
I like Sonny. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm talking to Brandon. Go
Sonny
ahead.
Styles, yeah, Sonny Styles is somebody you
Mhm.
draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you'll
Yeah.
see. Um, I look at it like this, man. James Ferentz is going to be a guy. First of all, we talk about our offensive linemen all the time, right?
Hmm.
Every year we talk about our offensive lineman that everybody wants. This
Right.
man is the son of the guy, of the coach that produces the Iowa offensive lineman every year.
And you know that
It's
there's one I like though. You know
that,
there's one I
hold
like.
on. That was getting to that point. Don't you see how kind of a coincidence it is that you get a former Iowa offensive lineman who's the son of the Iowa head coach, who is the head coach of the Dunker guy that's coming
Oh,
out in the draft.
your buddy, mullet
Um,
himself, redheaded mullet himself.
Redheaded mullet. And you know, I'm looking at it now. I'm like, he could be a guy to Texas State, along with my guy Rutledge. Um,
Still not
I would
sold on
love
Rutledge
to,
though.
huh?
I'm not really sold on Rutledge though.
How you sit on Dunker but not sit on Rutledge?
I don't like. I
They
don't like. I don't
they
like Rutledge
basically
much.
the same player, and Rutledge is more of a power gap guard than anything.
Oh, I'm just looking at Duncan as a right tackle.
Dunker gonna play guard.
He
Dunker's
can
a
play.
small tackle.
Okay,
Dunker's like 6'4".
Duncan like 6'6".
Dunker's not 6'6", buddy.
We'll talk about it later.
Dunker's not 6'6".
We'll talk about it later.
Um, but there is an interesting tackle that's starting to climb the rankings. I can't pronounce his name. He got that good old Nigerian name, but he's from Arizona State. Max. Um, I can't pronounce his name, man. Let me try it though. Let me try it though. Let me pull it up. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I ain't talking about. I have a decent grade on him, but he's all right.
Max. Max
Him again.
Ahineker.
Yep.
Ahineker. Um, he was actually on the Arizona State's basketball team.
He got good footwork.
So he has excellent footwork. He is almost identical build to our starting left tackle. He is 6'6", 330 pounds. And if you put him and Ariante Ursery next to each other, they look like twins almost, as far as build.
Oh, we going to racial tunnel that we all look alike.
No.
The stereotypes that we all look alike. That we doing
And
so.
look and listen to what I said. That's why I said build. That's why I said build. For people, black folks can't be racist anyway. Just so y'all know. But he's a guy. I like Rutledge. Dunker is a guy as a guard. And then I really don't like the center prospects because all of them are kind of light.
Hmm.
I want the heavy guys to come in. Like Rutledge, I think is like 6'5" or 6'4", 325. Um, and then there's a free agent prospect the Texans have been, linked to, which is Cade Mays. I feel like he's probably either the second or third best prospect, probably the third prospect, as far as um, free agency rankings as center.
Yeah,
Because you have Tyler Lindenbaum, and then what's the Bills center?
you have Tyler Linderbaum here, then you have everybody else. That's pretty much
No,
what it is.
the Bills center is pretty damn good too.
He is not on the same page as Tyler Linderbaum. It's Tyler Linderbaum and everybody else.
Yeah. I mean,
It,
he's
it,
number
it's
Tyler Linderbaum is number one. Nobody's doubting that. Um, but I think that you know these guys are. Hold on.
But the question is, I understand that center is frustration. What do you think the Texans feel about Jack Andrews? Before Texan fans and anybody else can say we're looking at centers, what does the Texans feel about Jack Andrews?
I
If they
think
don't
they.
feel they want to move on from him, then center is not going to be a need for everybody to think they're going to
I
draft.
think they like him, but I think they feel like they can do better. And I think that
Is that an opinion by you or based on something that we heard in the locker room or something like that? Because I don't see why they move on from him. Me personally,
I don't think they move on because he's under contract. So he's not
okay,
moving on, but I think it's a proponent of what I've been saying is raising the floor of the room.
right.
And I think that's what they're trying to do. And I think we had this kind of discussion and kind of what's the word I want to use? I don't want to call it a game, but the situation that we kind of painted last
Hmm.
time is that you're raising the floor of the room. Um, and I made a proponent like if you can get Ed Ingram back on a nice, decent contract, and you can get Trent Brown on a nice, decent contract, Andrews, Ed Ingram, and Trent Brown as reserves raises your floor as an offensive line group.
So,
And
so but basically, but still, you're still saying that in the free agency, do you looking to replace Andrews? Correct.
yes,
Okay. I don't. Like I said, at this point, I don't know if that's something that it's a fan idea or a Texans idea.
I mean it's yeah, I mean it's a fan idea. It can be a
Yeah.
Texans idea, but again, where else are you spending that money?
You
Where,
can.
if you don't address offensive line, where else are you spending your money in free
Well,
agency?
I'm not saying on the line. I'm saying center wise, but you spend your money on
I
left guard.
mean, what guards are there for you to say you're gonna other than bringing Ed Ingram back? What guards are there for you to really say I'm gonna spend some money on? You gonna spend some money on Evan Neal?
Not really. I don't like him that
You
much.
gonna spend some money on Kevin Zeiler who didn't do anything with Tennessee?
Mm-mm.
You gonna spend some money on Joe Batonio
But
who's
but K Mills can play guard though.
huh?
K Mills can play everybody keeps saying center. He can play left guard.
But why are you so interested on moving him to guard? And first of all, why is everybody trying to take Titus away from left guard?
Because no one knows what Texas really want to do. That's why we all speculating about what we want
One
want
thing I
position
can say about the Texans and what they want to do
is be
is that
flexible.
is that part. But if anybody knows anything, what happens if anybody gets injured on the interior?
Ty's going to guard.
Okay. So what does that tell you?
That means your depth is sorry.
I mean your depth is sorry, but what does that also tell you?
That
Is
he
that
he, he can
that
move
they
around.
really like Titus at guard?
No,
Let
that's
us
not it. That's
let us
not
hold
it.
on, Juice.
That's not it.
Let us not forget the plan going into the original plan going into this season, and we saw it at training camp. The original plan going into this season was to have Cam Robinson on the left side, Ariante Ersory on the right side, And where was Titus Howard at the very beginning of this year? Where
Was
was
he?
he at the very beginning of the year? Where was Titus Howard?
I thought he was right tackle at the beginning.
No.
You
Again,
sure?
very beginning of the year. First, there you go, Sherrod. There you go, Sherrod. Very beginning of the year, you had Cam
Right guard.
Robinson at left tackle,
Mm-hmm.
Ariante Archer at right tackle, and you had what's his name,
Yep.
Tomlinson at
Yep.
left
Thompson.
guard,
True.
and you had Titus Howard at right guard.
Okay. You're right.
They loved Titus.
I
They
discovered that.
wanted Titus at guard the whole season. It just so happened injuries and bad play made Titus move out to tackle.
Right. Okay.
So that's why I'm like, that's where they wanted Titus to begin with, is
So
at
you
guard.
want so you want to tackle in the free agency.
I don't even think there's a tackle in free agency.
So what do you want? I mean, I mean, so
I want a
you
center
want
because I want a center. Right now, these are your tackles in free agency, right? Cam Robinson again, Braden Smith from the Colts, Jonah Williams, who's been injured almost every year, Jermaine Illuminor, who's a 32-year-old tackle that just came from the USFL or whatever they call it, the XFL. And he started this year for New York. Andrew Wiley for the Washington Redskins or Washington Commanders. Josh Jones, he played for Houston 2 years ago.
okay.
Elijah Vera Tucker, who's been injured damn near every year of his career. DJ Humphreys, an old tackle from the Rams that really ain't doing nothing. Like, it's not a lot of options at tackle,
So
period.
once again, so
Or
what do
we
you
or
want?
you oh, I know who you want. You want to bring back Charlie Hick.
Who do you want? Who do you want at right tackle?
Bring Trent Brown back.
He
Just for
can't
a
stay
year.
healthy for a whole season.
Again, let me finish.
That's crazy to me.
Let me finish.
How do you bring him back when he got scratched at the most when the important game of the season?
Dude, let me finish.
You can't do it, bro.
Let me finish.
You can't do it.
What? Look,
You can't put him as a starter.
I'm saying bring Trent Brown back. First of all, you still got Blake Fisher, and you just
He's trash.
you're done with Blake Fisher.
I am because if you
So
can't beat out as a second year player, regardless of your influences by Tyus Howard, regardless of your influence by Tunsil, you a grown ass man, and you got beat out by somebody who came back from a major injury, who came out of shape, and you can't beat him out. And your greatest situation is you a jumbo pack guy, and you're not even good at that. I'm done because I want to move people. I want to run the ball and move people on the line. And the jumbo packets, how much we ran, we still couldn't run the ball. So yes,
so,
I'm done with anybody who can't help us run the ball.
again,
It's
how
just my
much?
opinion.
I look, and that's fine. But again, he's here and he's gonna be here. They're not gonna get rid of him. Okay. My whole point is when it comes to again, yeah, that's where I was going. Let them three battle it out at the right tackle with Trent, with a rookie, and with Blake Fisher. Let them battle it out. There's a tackle, if I'm not mistaken, from Miami too. He's a big guy.
He's a big guy.
He's like
6'5", 6'6".
six. No, that ain't the one I'm talking about. I ain't talking about Francis. I ain't talking about Francis. I'm talking about the other tackle. The one that started on the opposite side. He's 6'9", 330, 350. If I'm not mistaken. That's a guy we can look at as a developmental project. Even if you bring in an Arizona State guy, and I know, shout out to Real, he was hot about it. He was like, you don't draft a guy to not play him. As far as that high, because he's probably gonna go either in the early second or late first round, the way he's performed in the Senior Bowl going forward. But I'm saying if you draft him and you feel like he's not immediately ready to play, it's okay for him not to start immediately. That is the biggest thing for me, is that when it comes to offensive linemen, which is why I get a lot of heat about Ursery when I said I didn't feel like Ursery should have started right away either.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Is I go with the point of first of all, I have PTSD. That's first off. Um, my boy Kenyon Green got baptized, and he's it's been a lot of you know a lot of craziness with him. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I just feel like he needs any offensive lineman needs some development or needs some preparation. I don't feel like offensive linemen should be thrown in the fire like that.
Well, some
Um,
can, some can't.
some can, some can't, but it
Right.
doesn't hurt any offensive lineman whether they can or can't if they take a moment to sit back and watch. And
Agreed.
if so like if you get the guy from Arizona State, let's say you get him with pick 38, right?
Hmm.
And you bring him in, if you bring Trent Brown back, it's not a rush to put him out there because guess what's gonna happen? He go out there and he give up 2 sacks in a game, or he give up a sack 3 games in a row. Now he one of the worst draft picks the Texans ever made. Why we draft him? Now people gonna be begging to see Trent Brown. People gonna be begging for Blake Fisher. People gonna be begging for all of these things, right?
Ain't nobody blaming for Blake Fisher, bro.
I,
I
okay.
I've taken hits for Blake Fisher all off season, all year.
I'm,
I was one of the biggest Blake Fisher fans up until mid season. I just didn't
I'm
understand
telling
it.
you this. I'm telling you this now.
I didn't
If
understand it,
if one of these a rookie tackle good get in there and he give up 3 4 sacks in a row, like not in a row back to back, but if he give up 3 4 sacks in a game, people are gonna be like, who else can come in and play?
bro. You know how bad it was for Blake. I think there was a couple games when a couple tackles went out, the game get out. He wasn't even the first option as a tackle. It
Hmm.
was
They moved
some
Titus back. They moved
right,
Titus back.
and then it was some other cat that I was here for 2 weeks, and they finally cut him. That's how bad it is. That your second pick in 2 years, at second round pick wasn't even your first option as a tackle,
Hmm.
but he's in every jumbo package,
Yeah,
and he still can't run the ball.
but down when they what's crazy, they run the jumbo package. They don't even run on his side.
So what's the
Yeah.
point, man? Just so the back end
To,
red rusher
to
or
protect the back end.
yes, just make a run. I'm just crazy. I don't know. It is what it is, but I don't see Blake Fisher. I understand.
Look,
Maybe he has a grown man moment this offseason. He come back stronger. But right now, as I see it, he a liability at this point.
Look, at the end of the day, that's going to be a topic of discussion going forward. Is that the offensive line and how you shape it? We'll know a lot more when free agency hits and what
Almost
moves they
definitely.
make. When they wait, and again, let's be real and let's be honest. As much as you don't like Trent Brown and why you bring Trent Brown back, there's a 80% chance Trent Brown is coming back to this team.
I get it.
You
I get
know,
it. I get it.
and let's be clear. Every offseason that we've been doing this podcast, we've seen Nick Casario go in the offseason, especially in free agency, and fill all the holes in free agency.
And we still complain about the O line
I understand that. I'm just saying, that ain't the point I was trying to get across.
because
The point I'm trying
he yet to fix it,
to right. Well, I mean, he did a lot of work this offseason.
and he yet to fix it.
It ain't, but name me an offensive line that can get
Well,
instantly
I'm not
fixed.
talking about any boss line. I'm saying he's failed to fix this
Yeah,
offensive line.
I think he's moving in the right direction, though. I would say
We'll
this.
we'll find out.
Do you think Ariane Teresi wasn't moving in the right direction?
He was a good piece. We'll see how his second
Okay,
round.
then. Do you think Titus is a good
I,
piece?
he's jack of all trades and master nothing. So no,
Okay. You don't think Titus is good at all?
I say he a jack of all trades and master nothing.
So you don't think he's good at
I'm gonna repeat the same thing I'm telling you. He's a jack of all trades and a master nothing.
Titus
You
is a
you
good
you and
Titus is
you can't even piss him in right now
a, I
at a
can.
certain spot.
All I know is Titus is a starter.
But at where? At this point, you don't know. Like y'all said earlier last year, he was a right guard. Then he got moved to right tackle. Then he got moved to left guard. You can't pencil him into any situation because
Was he
he's not good at anything. He's not great at anything. He's just good at what
he
he.
I know.
So right now, so he's
It's
not
a
penciled anywhere.
It's a jack of all trades and a master of none.
I know I said it the way I want to say it.
Uh, I'm willing to give Blake this offseason. He's younger than Ursery. I
I agree.
forgot
I
about
agree
that.
with you. I said whatever reason
Uh,
why, if what he has not turned the page, he may have a grown up moment this offseason and come out. But right now, he's not.
you have
I don't see anything in him.
right, but right now
That's what we're talking about right
you
now.
have at the very least. When I go back to Nick Casario, one of the point I was trying to make originally is that Nick Casario is going to bring pieces in this offseason to fill any holes that we have, any like glaring holes that we have on this team. Nick Casario is going to bring pieces in to fill them.
Right.
And when
And
we go into the draft, it's going to be we don't know what they're going to do.
right. And the holes and the players he picked to fill these holes, two of them were cut or traded off the team, but by half by in the season.
Yeah, but
So I mean, so
again,
that's not a in the right direction. That means
but
you don't know how to pick all linemen.
no, I think it's the fact of like you again. I think some of these guys were brought in for mentality sake and changing the culture because as much as people didn't want to say it and one was trying to deny it, Laramie Tunsil was very, very detrimental to the offensive line room, period. And I will say this, you've seen the effects in Washington. He went to Washington and that offensive line got worse with Laramie Tunsil there. So it is something to say, as good as Laramie Tunsil is, the culture and the mindset of that offensive line room was in the toilet. So you bring in veterans like Cam Robinson, you bring in veterans like Lincoln Tomlinson, you bring in a guy like Ed Ingram who's trying to redeem himself because he was a high pick, he was a second round pick, a former second round pick. So you bring in these reclamation projects, and at the end of the day, the mentality changed because everybody's working for something, everybody's grinding for something. And again, only reason why Cam Robinson it was off the team is because he requested a trade and
Yeah,
they
because
obliged,
he got benched.
and that's fine.
Because
But I
he got beat out by
and guess
players.
what? And Jules, guess what?
Hey,
With
yeah, what
all the
you
injuries that we had during the season, he would have played again. He would have started again.
he was, but he wanted
Right.
he got benched though.
And he
You
and
you
he
you
went
you
and he
you,
went
you,
right to Cleveland and started every game that he
you
was at
spent
Cleveland.
$20 million on
Yes.
two players, and by the end of the season, they both are gone. You can't
Right.
tell me that's a win. AD, I don't. AD,
I'm
you
not
can't
saying
tell me
it
that's a
was
win, and you
look,
can't tell me it's pointing in the right direction. Now you trust Nick
it's
Casario to do
pointing,
something.
it's pointing in the right direction because right now you
That's your
have
opinion,
two
buddy.
you have two solidified starters. Again,
Yeah, where they gonna play?
again, I'm gonna say this.
You got Jack Andrews there because he's starter.
I'm gonna say this. You can't sit up here and say that if you went and got four players on the offensive line in the offseason and you know, like you're not going to find four instant players.
The fact that
Like,
you have to find points of players is an issue. Is and like our buddy Clay Anderson said on his article, 6 years or 4 or 5 years of
yeah,
offensive,
they
it's been
haven't.
bad.
I think a lot of it had to do also is not only with Nick Casario, but look at your offensive line coaches you had before there. Like the whole what were the offensive line coaches with Nick Casario? They were not good. We haven't had a Cole Popovich probably is your best offensive line coach you've had in the last what 5 6 years, possibly.
And we good at one thing: pass blocking. We ain't good at run blocking though.
And again, what's your most valuable asset right now? What,
Can't be because
what
everybody keeps saying they want to trade him.
No, I'm just saying, but at the end of the day, they want to trade them, and that's people. But at the end of
Yeah,
the day, CJ Stroud, Coleridge Bernard is your most valuable asset on offense, right now. Point blank period. We can feel how you want to feel about him. He's your most valuable asset right now. I'm gonna say this. The biggest issue that the take because my thing is you can't fix everything at once.
no.
Let's get good at something. Can we get good at can we be good to decent to good at or good to great at something? Right? And the biggest flaw of all Texans offensive line for years was pass protection. We couldn't pass protect since before since Bill O'Brien. We had that issue with Deshaun Watson getting lit up year after year, right? With Bill O'Brien. It's just the point now, like you just said, they're good at pass protection, right? We've given up we didn't even give up 30 sacks this year as a combination from all quarterbacks, all offensive line combinations. We didn't even give up 30 sacks this year. We gave up what 28
Hmm.
total over 17 games, which is really top of the league as far as pass protection when it comes in that moment, right? Take one thing at a time.
So why are you trying to replace Jack Andrews?
Because I think you can find better talent.
And I think we can plan better talent in other places too. So what's the conversation trying to say? You okay with replacing Jack Andrews because you don't like Jack Andrews, but by your narrative, you don't have to fix everything else. So why are you trying to replace Jack Andrews?
What else am I trying to fix?
You um you want to fix the right guard or the right tackle, right?
Right guard and right tackle.
Right, because Howard can play guard. You want guard. You want Howard at guard. So it means you have to either re-sign Edgram and find the right tackle, and you want to play Jack Andrews because you think you do better than Jack Andrews. So
Yeah.
what is your narrative? Your narrative is the O line can get better, but you say
Yeah.
you only say don't you only got two. But if they feel they like Jack Andrews, then they got three. Your opinion is only got two. My opinion, they
Let's say
got
we
three.
got two and a half. Two and a half. Split the, what they say, split the baby. Two and a half.
You can't split baby.
Two and a half. You split the baby, you got two and a half.
I just I understand what you're saying. I'm not to jump. I'm just I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know who they feel they're comfortable with. We won't know until free agency, and like you said earlier in draft, we don't know because it's a puzzle they got to fix, and I'm not confident. You can be confident in Nick Casario. I'm not confident in Casario that he's gonna do.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not of the belief
He's
that
going
I'm
the right
just
direction. It's
confident.
not confidence.
I have more. So this is the thing. My
He's not
confidence.
going. He's going right.
My
It's not
confidence.
confidence.
My confidence doesn't lie in Nick Casario.
Then what's relying in? Because he's the one picking the players.
My confidence lies in Cole Popovich.
Okay, we getting Cole
Because Cole
Popovich.
Popovich, Cole Popovich took some limes, some apples, some oranges, some passion fruits, and all that, and made a great lemonade out of it this year.
And you gonna give Nick Caley some credit on that too?
Give Nick Caley credit if you want to
Okay,
give
yeah,
Nick Caley
thank
credit.
you. Good. I'm just saying y'all can't put
Yeah, I'm not
everything on
taking.
Cole.
I'm not taking every. I'm not taking. I don't have an issue with Nick Caley. A
Okay,
lot of people
neither do
do.
I. Neither do I.
I don't have an issue with Nick Caley at all. Um, Nick Caley is here. They running it back. We can't. At the end of the day, see, Coleridge Bernards need consistency.
He does from
Getting rid of
himself.
after this type of season and after this playoff run, this postseason, taking away Nick Caley would have been the most detrimental thing for Coleridge Bernard.
I agree.
That would have been the most detrimental thing. Taking away consistency from him at this point when he's at the crossroads of his career, or whether he's gonna be a backup quarterback or a serviceable quarterback, or he gonna be a starter for the rest of his career. We don't know, but taking that consistency aspect away from him would be detrimental mentally and just
Don't
player
say
wise.
emotionally too. You want to say
Yeah,
emotionally?
I
Well,
mean
you want
that's
to
tied into mentally.
a little bit. It's
Yeah.
emotional something different though because we right now is everybody's question is his emotional capabilities suitable for the game. Okay, and right now, as much as I defended him, you really can make a case for if he's emotional mature enough for this job.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna see after the season if he got it or is he completely broken. We're gonna find out real soon.
Yeah, I mean that's what we are. It's a somber moment for Texas
Ain't
fans
ain't
because
it ain't it it's just a bad situation that we in that
yeah, it's
it's
very
it's it's sad.
it's somber, man. What up, chill out? Um, it's very very somber. It's sad, because at the end of the day, we could have been talking about getting hyped for the Super Bowl right now.
Right.
We could have been doing everything what we doing to win. Whether honestly, I ain't even gonna hold you. We would have been wanting to win, but I would have been one of these fans that's happy we there. Let me just
Right.
let me get my participation trophy and walk up out of here.
And this situation, I'd have been okay with that because I know Seattle is the only team
Mm-hmm.
that whooped us on both sides of the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and I am not ashamed, and I'm a grown man about it. I would not have been ashamed to lose us to Seattle.
Yeah.
That's the only team that beat us soundly
Mm-hmm.
because they're that sound.
Yeah.
When you get
They,
beat by a better team,
they were the
I,
best team. They the best team in the league. They the
right,
best team in the league.
and you can't get mad about that. But you
No.
lose to the Patriots. No, we're gonna move on because no, we got somewhere to go.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, man, we got a long off season and it's a long start. Like I said, the East and West Shrine game just took place on Tuesday. You got the Senior Bowl that's happening this weekend. Um, there's a lot of prospects that everybody's getting excited about, especially in the trenches.
hmm
Um, and I'm gonna say this, there's an argument like the Texans will be a damn fool if they pass on trenches. I'm gonna say this personally. If the Texans don't take trenches with their first three picks, something ain't right.
I'll take a step, boy. The first two picks because they literally damn near 9 picks from each other.
I'm saying three. That should not be a receiver. That should not be a corner. That should not be a safety. That should not be a linebacker. I don't even think there's a running back in the bottom of the second round that's worth you taking in the second round.
Like I said, I
Unless
I say the first two picks. You don't get picked by that first second round pick. Something wrong.
I'm gonna say this. There's a guy in Florida from Florida that showed his ass in the Senior Bowl practices this week.
You mean Banks? Oh, you mean
Caleb, Caleb Banks.
yeah.
He showed his
I
ass.
want about his injuries though. I
He
want to see his
looked
medical. I want to see his medicals.
he looked healthy as an ox to me.
Well, but I still
Um,
his medicals is going to be his
shout out,
watch.
shout out to Killer Cal who gave a hell of a comparison. And I'm looking at it and I can't unsee it. And when I say this, you
Who
probably won't unsee it either.
who?
He gives you small similarities he gives you Chris Jones esque similarities.
Okay. Oh,
He
I've seen the
gives
talent.
yeah.
I've
Hit
seen the talent.
6'6", 330 and can
Right.
move like he can move.
Yeah, I've seen talent.
That's a guy that I wouldn't be mad. Of course, I want them to take offensive line. But
Mm.
if you telling me I get Caleb Banks at 28 and the next two picks is a tackle and a guard in the second round, wrap the draft up. I'm good. So I'm chilling the rest of the draft.
Like I said,
I'm good. We done did what we needed to do.
all thing that's going to hinder him is his medical.
Yeah, and guess what? If that knocks him down from a first round pick to the early second round pick, where we pick him at 38, I'm okay with that too.
I'm okay with that too. But I'm just saying overall,
Yeah,
that's been his knock since draft season started is his medicals because everyone want to see how healthy he is and if he has any lingering
yeah.
issues from his
And,
times that he
and
was.
guess what? That's what the combine is for, and that's what the
hmm
combine is going to really, really show. They're gonna go through his medicals and they're gonna look at
hmm
his injury history. They're gonna do all that at the combine. And if he missed the whole season,
Correct.
so if he comes back fully healthy in that combine and they show no issues or anything, he may skyrocket. But we will see. But hey, we got a lot to talk about, people. We got a lot to talk about. Next week we'll give our predictions for the Super Bowl.
mm.
Even though everybody
I, ain't,
should
I,
be
ain't,
on the
gonna-
same accord.
I might not even watch this shit. I'm sorry.
Look,
I ain't cussed online in a long time, man. I'm sorry.
look, I'm not. I'm just here for the food and the party.
And
Look,
the commercials, man.
and the commercials.
I
Yeah.
feel like a female right now. I want to watch the commercials, man.
Um.
I'm like Karen Mo. You know what I'm saying? You bring your
Mhm.
girlfriend to the Super Bowl party. I'm just here for the commercials. And that's how I feel right now. That's how mad I am about this
Mhm.
situation I'm in right now.
Look, all I care about is enjoying my family and
And the new trailers too. Ooh, the new trailers too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I'm worried about
yeah.
the new trailers coming out.
There's gonna be some movies and some shows
Yeah.
coming out this year. So
I could
yeah,
have, I could have, I could have both. I could have my Texans in the Super Bowl and Marvel trailers coming out. You know what I'm saying? Damn, CJ.
Sherrod say I'm betting on the coin toss. um So again, man, look, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna have a lot of content coming up regarding draft prospects, regarding, you know, all of this stuff. You know, the H-Town Rundown weekly mock draft is coming up soon. We waiting for the Super Bowl to end. We about to start
Yeah.
that our weekly mock draft. Y'all be prepared for that, and it's gonna, be a wonderful, wonderful time because we get a good 2 months worth of prospect analysis and finding gems and everything like that. I will put a name out there as well. Mike Washington Jr., running back from Arkansas, is
Yeah.
a guy that people are selling. Shout out Dr. Barrett and Tony. Um, Tony Snow on Twitter. Y'all know him as Terrell. I know him as Terrell. For bringing those guys up, and yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So y'all stay tuned to the H-Town Rundown. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And for sure, hit that subscribe button and tune in to the H-Town Run. We appreciate y'all all for joining us, man. We'll be back next week. I'll let y'all know when we'll be back, but we'll be back next week. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing, enjoy it, and y'all stay warm. Another cold front in Houston coming again. So y'all make sure y'all bundle up again this weekend. Y'all stay warm, stay safe. We will see y'all when we see y'all, man. Peace.
Go Texans.
Go Texans.